Hello people, doing here a little video just to let you know which is the best gacha game out there. Indeed, the game that you have in front of you right now on your screen. We're talking about Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Blazing, I guess. So of course, this game here is the best game when it comes to free-to-play friendliness. It's very good for those players who are just trying to have a good time with the game. It has so much stuff in it. I cannot even start to describe how great it is for people who just want to have fun and don't want to spend money to get in a game. To start, I'm just going to go first to the initial and daily missions, of course, that we have in the game. First off, the daily missions for the when it comes to the summoning side, where you can get the characters in the game to get your units, which are basically the ones that you use to enjoy most of the content here. You get daily just from the daily missions, daily, not something that you do on a weekly basis or something that you need to wait 2 or 3 days for it. Daily, you get just from here 4 pearls for summoning, and you know that there are some games out there that they give you only 1 or 2 or even sometimes nothing at daily. They just let you know that you have your story mode and that's it. You don't get nothing daily for doing missions. And on top of that, you have your accolades here that you have like logging in for a number of days, completing a certain mission with certain conditions. You have 3 ranks for that. You have C rank, B rank, and the A rank, all packed with an extra set of missions that you can do. You can get pearls from there. You can get materials in the game. Lots of stuff. That's when it comes to the missions, and of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to that. But just to continue moving on with the most important stuff, of course. First, we have here. Actually, first, let's go to the missions that you have in your story mode here, which is the one that you use to farm pearls. But believe it or not, this is not the most efficient way to farm pearls from this game. You can do it if you wish to, but for each and every single one of these stages, if you complete them, as you can see, there's a 5 out of 5. You get 5 pearls for completing all of these. 5 for every single one of each. But that's not the end of it. Like, let's go here in the stage 1. Inside of these stages, you have these missions. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So there's 4 missions in this stage number 1. And if you complete the conditions for every single one of these missions, you get another extra pearl. So you in total, just for completing stage 1, you get 1, 2, 3, and okay, it's trying to start the mission. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4 pearls from that. So that's very good. I mean, there's even stages. Let me see. I actually believe there's one pretty close by to that one. Let me see if number 4. There's stages that have more than those. For example, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can get the 5 for completing the whole stage, and on top of that, you can get another extra 7 for completing the conditions in here. As you can see, I don't have completed. I think not even a single one. Yep, I haven't completed a single one. You need to get a perfect here, where you can see the number and the little treasure thing, and on the side where you complete the other conditions that you get for the mission. These conditions are not that hard to achieve. Sometimes it's that you need to use a certain type of unit, a certain color, and of course complete it in certain number of turns, and complete it with certain power or certain ending conditions, such as using a finishing power or using a combo of 3 people. So yeah, these missions are not hard to complete. Sometimes you need to farm a bit because you get lucky drops from these. So you sometimes may need to stay there and wait and repeat and repeat and repeat until you get the lucky drop. But still, just you need stamina for that, and that's it. You don't need to spend any money to get that. So that's just an example, as you can see, just from that. As you can see, sorry, 20 stages that you have in the game right now. You multiply that times 5 and you get around should be 5 times 20, 5 times 10 is 50, 100, 100 pearls, plus of course all the extra ones that you get from completing the missions inside. But that's not the end of that. You also have another difficulty, which is hard, and you can get also basically the same from here. Not only the conditions for completing the stages, like completing all the stages in the sorry all the missions inside stage, but also you can get extra pearls if you go inside of a stage and complete the whole condition list. So that's a lot of stuff that you can farm from here. But as I mentioned before, this is not the most efficient way to get pearls here. This is just basically still the tip of the iceberg. But if you go here, you have this option that's called emergency missions. This is the real meat of the game, you could say, when it comes to farming the currency to summoning in this game. And you have you have all of these impact missions and you have these emergency missions here. And on a of course on a you could say standard number, the average number that you can get of pearls for each one and every single one of these, it's 30, around 30 pearls you can get from these. The ones that have three missions, you have difficulties that you need to complete, of course. Let's say, of course, let's see here some of the conditions you have completed with skill elementals only, which are, of course, the skill type units. Completed with body elementals only, completed with heart elementals only. So, if you complete a mission with all your characters being skill, which is the most easy difficulty in this case, you get one pearl, and then for the second difficulty, you get three, and then for the last difficulty you get 5. So just in total from here, as you can see, you get 1, 3, and 5, so that's a total of 8, and then another 8, and then the other 8, so you get a total of 24. Plus, of course, never forget that you also have the conditions for the lucky drops, so you get another 3 from that, and that's a total of 27 pearls for completing just with one mission here. And you have a total of 3 impacts, which are rotating on a hourly basis. Actually, it's like 2 hours each, or 1 hour and 30 minutes approximately. And also you have the emergency missions. So the emergency missions here, they take around they take around the same amount of pearls to complete. I mean, they give you the same amount of pearls if you complete them, but in the end, they don't have the same basis of being rotating. You can complete them. You can complete them whenever you want to, of course, as long as they are in the game, and they're not rotating. They leave them. They are rotating in the sense that they change them, but they are not rotating like daily. You have these for around 7 days, and if you have a proper team to complete them, you can get these done in around an hour or an hour and 3 minutes, depending on the difficulty and of course the units that you have. And on the same case that we had before, if these missions have a set of 3 difficulties, you get the same amount of pearls as the impact missions, which are of course the same that you get from that set. So depending also, there's a set of different missions in the game that you have, which have some characters which have only one weakness, and in that case, you don't get only one pearl for the first difficulty. Let me see if this one is one of those. Actually, yeah, this one is one of those. So for this one, as you can see, you have bravery and wisdom elements, and in this one, in this case, you get 3 pearls for the first difficulty because you're facing a unit which is weak to you, but also you're weak to them. So they balance that out that way. So they're very generous in that sense. Like if you're facing a same difficulty about pretty close to your character when it comes to the color that you are using. So let's say you're facing this mission on a wisdom condition, you're gonna be weak to them, but then you use the bravery element, which is the one that equates to the 3 pearl mission of the other ones, which don't have this added difficulty on the first one. And then you have another which is a bit more hard, that you need to use characters which are not too powerful, but still If you completely train them, if you give them all of their abilities, they can reach some pretty hefty power too. So yeah, I mean, you get another extra 3 pearls from that. In this case, you only have two difficulties because this is one of the very oldest missions that came in the game. But still, most of the missions that you have out now have 3 difficulties. So from that one, you get around 20 pearls. But from most of those, nowadays you get 30 pearls. So let's just make a count just from the ones that you have on right now. Let's say you get 20 from this one, you get around 30 from this one. So that's 20, 30, I mean 20, 50, 80, 110, 140, 170, 100 and sorry, 200 and 230. So approximately, if we take out the three pearls that you may not get from these, you get an average around of 215 pearls just from completing the missions that we have on right now. 215 pearls, and these, as I mentioned before, rotate weekly. There's a good number of these out already because this game has been on the store, like has been live for around a year in 6 7 months. Actually, no, it has been like 1 year and 10 months. So 2 more months, and this game is going to have its second year anniversary, and that's the reason why you have lots of missions. But yeah, like weekly, you're gonna have like let's say like 1 month and 2 weeks. All the missions, sorry, that you have in the game are going to be fully displayed to you. If I'm not mistaken, even possibly 2 months. So weekly, as you can see, you're gonna be getting around 200 pearls from these missions if you don't have complete any of them. So in this case, I have completed all of them. Mostly, of course, there's one or two difficulties that I have not completed because, well, I need to get another character in the game that I'm still missing. But most of these are quite doable. Even sometimes people create the strategies with free to play characters. So these missions give you a lot of pearls, as you can see, and that's just amazing. I haven't seen any other free to play game out there with, of course, microtransactions that has this great system to give you stuff. And on top of that, we're going to go to the part that you use those pearls that you get from the game to use it in. The most, you could say, exciting part of the game, maybe not the most fun part of the game, or most challenging part of the game, but of course we go here to the summoning aspect. And this is just the icing on the cake. Like, this is so great that they have a system where you summon for steps, and once you complete a step, you get a guaranteed character. Even sometimes, like in the case of this one, let me check here just to show you. In the case of this banner here, if I'm not mistaken, of course, yeah, this is the wrong section. Should be in this one. Yeah, here you can see the conditions and what you get from summoning. So let's say first summon level 1. It only costs 30 pearls. You get 10 characters for that price. And of course, you get some materials to awaken your characters to their next potential. The next one costs 40 pearls, and you get 2, of course, materials. Then the number 3 step, you get a guaranteed character. So here, just from spending 30, 40, 50, so you spend around 120 pearls, you get a guaranteed character in a game. So that's just so good. I mean, there's so many games out there where you have the currency in the game and you don't have this system of steps. So you end spending like 100, 200, 300, and you don't even get a character that is a 5 star or usable. In this game, it's pretty generous with its rates. It gives you lots of 5 stars. And actually, in this game, it's more rare to find an empty summon than to find one that has a 5 star in it. Most of them have at least one, if not two, three, or sometimes even 4 5 stars. The 5 5 stars ones are there. They're not extremely common or extremely hard to get. they're balanced, but you may get those too. And sometimes it's even crazy. There's people that have been getting even 7 5 stars in just one pull. Of course, not all of them may be, legitimate characters, legit 5 stars, but the fact that you can get them in a such plenty number just makes this so friendly towards the free to play players. You can play this game and not spend a single cent, and you can still make it, of course, among the people who's having a lot of fun with the missions and competing in the game with no issues. All you need to do is to focus your resources where you want to go. If you want to go towards playing a player versus player, you're gonna be, of course, focusing all your pearls on the player versus player banners, or if you're just gonna be enjoying the game for missions, you need to go to the Blazing Festival banners. The Blazing Bash banners are the ones for PvP, and the Blazing Festivals are the ones which are better for in-game content to complete that. In the end, of course, the gameplay here is also pretty good too, so you're not gonna be tired of playing the game unless, of course, you play a lot and a lot and a lot, and of course, it comes to a day where you just get tired of the system. But still, it's a pretty fun game. It has some pretty good stuff, hype stuff, good animations. It's a very good game. As we continue through here, just so you can see the extra stuff, you get even, of course, reduced prices for some of the summons. You get rate up for characters, but those don't mean that much actually. The ones which are really the best of these banners are those steps where you have a guaranteed character. So in this one, you have one, you have the third step, you have the sixth step, and you have the last step, the ninth step. 3 steps where you get a guaranteed character. I don't know if that isn't great. I don't know what it is, to be honest. And all of these, as I mentioned before, all of these banners that come out, most of them give you that opportunity to get a guaranteed character. And at the end, and as I mentioned before, the game is pretty fun. The game is pretty free to play friendly. As I mentioned before, weekly you can farm a lot of pearls. In the beginning, you're going to have a bit of a hard time. Of course, you'll need to go first through the mission and farm those pearls at first and get the daily ones that you get. But once the first month is done and you go through a blazing festival banner and you get the characters, even these characters here in the ultimate blazing bash banner, they can be quite useful too. So you can go decide to through this route or the other route and get the characters to start completing the emergency missions and the impact missions. And also you get more characters from there too, which are not as great as these ones that you get in the banners, but they still work in the game pretty nicely. So in the end, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this game here is the best free to play game out there because it gives you a good gameplay, it gives you a lot of resources to play the game. It's just the best game out there if you want to play as a free to play player. And of course, if you want to go ahead and, let's say, you want to buy pearls, to be honest, that won't be a very good idea per se. But if you would do it because you want to support the game, not because of the of the game, like having good prices in their pearls. But this is the case with most Japanese games that come from there. Like most of their games that they release there with the gacha aspect, such as this game here, Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a more friendly game when it comes to pearl prices. But as I mentioned before, this is the best when it comes to 5 star rates. But the prices on the pearls, to be honest, are not that cheap. You may need to wait until there's a more friendly price for the pearls. But still, that is just the extra option that you have just in case that you want to spend more. But as I mentioned before, if you just want to play the game as a free to play player and enjoy it, you're gonna having a lot of fun with this. There's a lot of missions for you to complete out there, like 50 or more, and every single one of them, if I'm not mistaken, gives you at the very least 20 pearls to summon. So that's so good to have in the game. I don't know any other game out there in the market that gives you such a great freedom to get pearls and of course in game currency to summon. and that's why this game is the best when it comes to that, to be honest. Not, of course, I'm not doing this, I'm not getting paid from the company for doing this. I'm just so grateful towards this game and its system, that I felt that because I have been here as a free to play player, I have not been, of course, purchasing any pearls from the store. This is my way of saying thanks to the game and the developers, because they did such a great game here for free to play players. They don't force it under their throat to summon if they just want to have fun. If you want to be very serious about being competitive in the in the player versus player mode, you may need to start, of course, dishing a bit of money in the game. But if you just want to enjoy the game, enjoy the story, enjoy the emergency missions, play trial missions to awaken your characters, because there's also a limit break in this game, which is not locked behind any money, just in case you wanted to know. And of course, the Phantom Castle, which gives you more pearls, the Ninja Road, which is another good game mode to get more resources in the game to get your characters to be stronger. And of course, the Ninja World Clash, which is the player versus player game, which is an option that you have there to play if you wish to. But still, this is a very balanced game, and it would be a shame in the future if this game ceased to exist. It's gonna leave a very good example to all of those gacha games out there. With it's such a great system, not only for summoning, but also to giving its fan base and players which are enjoying the customers such a great and easy way to get pearls on the game and get the characters that they want. Mostly for this series fans, Naruto fans. So just from the bottom of my heart, and of course, as a person who's very happy with this, I'm very thankful towards this game. Thank you, Namco, or thank you for the person who also worked on this, Bandai Namco Bandai, or of course if there was any other developer or the mind that was behind this such friendly model for giving players the chance to give this game a chance. Thank you very much for that, and of course, thank you for watching too. And I hope that if you wish to enjoy this game in the future, you give it a shot. It's a pretty good game. To be honest, the player versus player mode is sometimes a bit annoying because people sometimes they use some pretty cheap tactics, to be honest. But when it comes to the player multiplayer game, because you can also join multiplayer here globally with other people playing the game, that's very good too. You can get pearls from that too. So thank you once again for watching, and have a great day. Bye bye.